Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the vlog. This is going to be my reading vlog from the 21st to the 28th of May. So it is currently Sunday the 21st at about 7:30, and I will first just update you on what I've done today. So I've pretty much done fuck all, besides I did a live show on my channel where me and my friend Clint made flower crowns, which this is how mine turned out. Not the best, not the worst. Now my hair's a mess. And then I read a little bit of Wilder Lore, The Accidental Apprentice by Amanda Foodie, and I'm currently 68% into this. And this basically we are following 11-year-old Barclay Thorne as he ends up bonding with a beast and becoming a lore keeper. And basically lore keepers are people who bond with beasts, and so they end up getting the magic of those magical beasts to use for themselves. And Barclay lives in a town that does not like magic, is very strict on rules, and so he ultimately is like, I want to get this beast off me, let's go figure out a way. He meets Viola, who is a girl that has bonded with a beast, and she's like, hey, I know a place. And they travel there, and then there ends up being this like competition of sorts to become like an apprentice to a more like, I can't remember the exact term, but to a more like prestige lore keeper, and Barclay participates, and that's kind of where we're at. This is a reread for me, and this is the group book for the Chaotic Wilds for Witchathon, which is a readathon that I'm currently co-hosting, and so I'm reading that. I'm also reading Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton, which this basically we follow Adeline, who she ends up moving into this house that it was once her grandmother's, and once her grandma passed away, it got passed down to Adeline, and so she moves into this house, which she basically grew up there, moved away to college, and now she's back. And there is now this person that is breaking into her house, stalking her, but being very respectful about it. And that person, this is not really a big spoiler, is Zaid, who is like essentially he's her stalker, but he's like knows a lot of stuff about tech, and like I think works for something to do with that. I don't know exactly the details. I'm only 8% in, but I'm really enjoying it. Originally I was gonna start Charm by Tracy Wolf, but I ended up doing other things, so I didn't. But I will be starting that probably tomorrow, because I have a live show of that for that on Saturday, so I need to get that read. And there is a chance that I start working this week. I'm waiting to hear back about when I start, which that's terrifying but also exciting. So yeah, but I am going to go and read more Haunting Adeline because I've been thinking about it all day. And then after that I'll do some more writing, and then I might update you later, I might not, I'm not sure. We'll play it by ear, but if I don't update you tonight, I will update you tomorrow. So it's actually Tuesday at 2:30 when I'm filming this clip. Yesterday I did not vlog at all, but I do have a little bit of updates. So I ended up finishing The Accidental Apprentice by Amanda Foodie, which I finished that and gave it 4 stars. And then I also started and finished Lore Olympus Volume 3 by Rachel Smith, which basically is like a Greek myth retelling of sorts in a modern setting, and it's a graphic novel. It's technically on Webtoons, which is where I read it, but it's being bound up into physical copies, and so I'm reading them kind of as the like bind-ups essentially. So like this was episode 50 through 75, I think, of the Webtoon. So yeah, and I gave that 4 stars. And then I made it to 36% of Haunting Adeline, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm reading it a lot slower than I thought I would. Like, I honestly thought I would just binge it, but I think I'm wanting to kind of savor it, which is pretty good. And then I also started Charm by Tracy Wolff, and last night I got to 27 pages, I think, and currently I'm on 37, so I've read 10 pages today. But this is the 5th book in the Crave series, which is a YA paranormal series that I am a co-host for the Crave Along, which is where we are reading all of these books. And this is May's book, and we're doing the live show on the 27th, right? Whatever Saturday is, on Saturday here. And so this basically, in the first book, we're following Grace, who she has to move to Alaska to this boarding school that is ran by her uncle after her parents pass away, and little does Grace know when she arrives that this is actually a boarding school for paranormal creatures. She has to figure out how to navigate that place, and then this takes place in between book 1 and 2, but it's book 5, as in between book 1 and 2 there was a 4-month time gap where nobody really knew what was going on with Grace, and this is what happened with her. And so anytime I mention this book, I will just hold up this because I don't read with the dust jacket. So yeah, this is what I am reading, and I think that's everything I'm reading, everything I'm doing. But right now I am just doing some reading. I did some schoolwork earlier, edited my vlog and uploaded it. I did a bunch of other things too, and now I am just waiting for 5 o'clock to happen, which is when I start my first shift at my new job. I'm due going in today for like training, but it's paid training, so technically you can count it as day 1, which I'm terrified for, but excited. I'm terrified because it's just new thing. Obviously being a bit scared is okay, and then excited because it's job, it's income, it opens so many more doorways for life of being employed. More money means more opportunities to buy things, to do things, to possibly move out, depending on exactly how big my paychecks are, because obviously I don't know what the paychecks will look like once the taxes and all that come off. And so yeah, I'm excited, get scared. I work from 5 to 9, so that means when I come home I'm not gonna probably want to read any of this, so I'm trying to read before I go. This whole thing is just going to be a giant navigation of, I don't know what the fuck to do, pretty much. I'm going to be figuring out a new routine, a new schedule over the next few weeks as I get used to my shifts and all that. But I am excited, and so I figured I'd update you now, because yesterday my back was just fucking killing me. I had heartburn that I literally swore I was having a heart attack. It was that bad. Obviously it wasn't, because like I knew it was my acid reflux just deciding to go like, fuck you, here's heartburn. But I literally was like, and I can't even swallow water without it feeling like my entire esophagus is burning. So that was fun. So I obviously didn't really feel like vlogging, so hence why I read an entire graphic novel, because I was like just laying in bed like, I don't want to move, but I also don't want to think. But if I don't update you before I go to work, I will update you after, and I will just do a little update on how that went and how much of Charm I was able to read before I left. If that makes any sense, we'll figure it out. I survived my first shift. Well, my body is still figuring out if it survived. Holy hell, everything hurts. But yeah, I did it. I'm proud of myself. Before I left though, I read up to 74, like page 74 of Charm, and it's a reread, so I can't really say much without spoiling, but I'm enjoying it. It's very interesting to start it from the beginning to know where it ends. So it is interesting because it's like, oh, because the premise of this is Grace and somebody else are essentially trapped somewhere together. Somebody that Grace does not like, so I really enjoy it, especially because I know how those two's relationship turn out, and it's like, oh, like not only I know how it ends up in the main series, but within this book. So it's like, ooh. It's also making me so much more excited for Cherish, which comes out in a week. Oh my god, it comes out in a week. Ugh. I honestly feel so much more confident because I'm like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought. Yeah, it still fucking sucks because I swear I have to eventually at some point memorize like 100 different freaking produce codes, and the only one that I am confident with is banana. So yeah, like if you need bananas, I can do it without needing the cheat sheet. But yeah, but it's 10 o'clock. I got off about an hour ago, and then I ate, and now I'm going to, honestly, I want to go sleep, but I know I will want to read some of Haunting Adeline, so I'm probably just going to read Haunting Adeline and then go to, like, some of Haunting Adeline and then go to bed, because I'm tired and I work at 1:30 tomorrow. Well, that sounds right. I have when I work on my phone, so, but yeah, I will update you tomorrow on how much I get on Haunting Adeline and how much my body fucking hurts. Like, I thought my back hurt normally. These next, at least the first few weeks while my back strengthens, is going to be a motherfucker. So it's now about 11 o'clock, and I'm finally, like, fully awake. Oh my gosh, I slept awful last night and am not excited for these next 2 days. I swear, if you need me Friday, I'm sleeping the entire day. As long as I don't find out that I work. I don't think I work, but I'll have to double check. But last night I got to 49% of Haunting Adeline, and I'm still loving it so much. Like, I love Zaid so much. I am saying that as, like, he is a stalker. He has killed people. He has technically essayed Adeline. But I love my dark romance, and this is like, oh my gosh, like, I knew I was gonna love this, but, like, I love it more than I thought. Like, I'm taking my time with it. I think I've mentioned this before. I feel like I'm taking my time to, like, savor it. Also because, like, last night I was so fucking exhausted. I literally, like, I was so exhausted last night after work. I don't remember what I said last night, but I probably said I was tired, so I pretty much, like, read for, like, 45 minutes, and then I watched a Netflix show, and then fell asleep, because recently I've been watching a Netflix show called Made, and it's not the type of show that I would normally watch, but I blame TikTok for me watching it. I saw a couple clips and was like, that actually seems like it might be interesting, and so I watched an episode of that, and then passed out, and then had to drag my ass out of bed this morning and shower, even though I didn't want to. I'm just like, I want to go to sleep. Oh my gosh. But I might read more of Charm before I go to work. I already did a lesson of my schoolwork, and I've done a few other things, but yeah, that's just a little update and me complaining about how tired I am. At least today's shift's only 5 hours. So, I like the 4 and 5 hour shifts so far already. I like the idea of having only, like, a 4-hour shift like I did yesterday, or a 5-hour shift like today, because I feel like my body won't be dying at the end of the day. But we will see. But I probably won't update until later, because I will probably forget or be busy doing other things that I will just be like, oh shit, I was supposed to film, but didn't. But yeah, I'll update you at some point. So it is 9 o'clock, and I got off at 6:30, and then, what did I do since then? Came home, ate, read a little, so I made it to page 112 of Charm, and I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to get this finished before the live show, but at least it's a reread, so if I don't get it finished, I won't spoil things for myself. I just might not be able to discuss things in so much detail because I last read this in November of last year when it first came out. So it's been over 6 months, roughly 6 months. I don't know math. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I do really like this book, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say because everything I want to say is spoilers. But I love the, like, characters being annoying to each other. I normally hate when characters are annoying, but in this, I feel like it is just perfect. Of Grace is so annoying, but she's annoying for reasons that make sense, and so I love it. But yeah, I am going to now crawl into bed. I'm looking at my bed and I'm like, I'm fucking ready to lay down, because my body is not used to being on its feet for 5 hours. Like, within those 5 hours, I had a 15-minute break, and so my feet are killing me, but at least it's tomorrow, and then I don't work until Tuesday, so got a couple days off, and I'm going to read some more of Haunting Adeline. I don't know how much I'm going to read, because I want to go to bed within, like, an hour or so, because I have to get up early, because I work a 9:30 to 2:30 shift tomorrow, and I would like to wake up early enough that I'm able to, like, do my basic morning routine and eat breakfast and, like, all of that before going to work, instead of just waking up and immediately eating and running out. I'm like, that would not work for me, so I need, like, at least 2 to 3 hours before going to work to prepare, and so I'm giving myself 3 hours to see if that's too long or too little to know for the future, but I am just rambling at this point. But I will update you on my progress for Haunting Adeline tomorrow morning, probably. So it is actually 9:42 on Thursday here, and I didn't update earlier, but I read up to 66% of Haunting Adeline last night. I try to finish it tonight, because I'm kind of in just I want to lay in bed and read mood, or aka I just want to lay in bed and read until I pass out mood, so I might do that. And then I went to work, it was fine. I got my copies of the Fairy Loot Crescent City, but I'm so happy to have those. They actually ended up getting it delivered to the person across the house's street, because their numbers are like my house number, but the 2 numbers are flipped, so I'm assuming that the delivery driver just saw the 2 numbers and just went, that's correct, but in reality the numbers were flipped. But easy mistake, and the person ended up bringing it over here being like, yeah, I think I have your package. So that literally scared me shitless when it said it was delivered but it was not at the house. I was like, and I'm gonna have to call Canada Post. Thankfully I didn't have to. And then we did some moving things, like we got a new couch, so we had to move that, and then I ended up going and hanging out with my cousin and her son for like an hour and a half, and we went and got like ice cream and all that. Definitely a fun time, because but unfortunately I'm not reading any of Charm. Yes, I probably should, because there's a live show in 2 days, but I don't know. Worst comes to worst, I can check the audiobook to like 3 times speed and pray I comprehend things. But if I don't get it finished, I'm not gonna be that mad. But yeah, that was just a little update of my day. So it is actually 10:45 on Saturday. I didn't update yesterday because I ended up just doing a bunch of stuff and just not really feeling the urge to pick up the camera. But on Thursday night, I did finish Haunting Adeline, and I'm giving it 5 stars. I absolutely fucking loved it. Honestly, like, it was, in some ways it was so much better than I thought, but in other ways it wasn't as dark as I expected it. And that definitely shows how mentally fucked up I am if literally stalking, murders, like SA, like child abuse and all of that type of stuff, those topics and scenes wasn't as dark as I thought. I need psychological help. And then last night I got to 5% in Haunting Adeline, which is the sequel, which we are continuing off after that huge fucking cliffhanger. Haunting Adeline ended up on a huge cliffhanger, and now we are continuing at that. The only reason I didn't read more is because I ended up doing a bunch of other things last night and then just didn't have the time or the energy to read. And then I also, between Thursday and Friday, made it to 252 of Charm, and we are pushing back the live show until next Saturday, because Alicia's sick, Clint has a thing, and then none of us are finished the book yet, so it makes sense to push it back a little bit, which honestly lifts a weight off my shoulders, because then now today I don't need to be rushing to finish it before noon, which would be impossible to do, honestly. And I can kind of take it a little slower, because I was starting to rush it, and then, like, obviously the more you rush a book, the less you might enjoy it. But today is mostly going to be doing a bunch of stuff. Later I'm going over to my friend's house. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan. I do hope to get a bunch of reading done too. Like, I'd love to get past that, at the bare minimum, page 300 of Charm, and then read a good chunk of Haunting Adeline, and then maybe something else. Who the fuck knows, really. Maybe try to get some schoolwork done, because I haven't really done because I haven't really done much this last week because of working. So yeah. So it's actually Sunday, and I forgot to update this last night and end this, but I ended up making it to page 282, I think, of Charm. So not quite the 300 that I wanted to, but I did make progress, so that's good. And then I did also read to 22% of Hunting Adeline, and holy shit, this is already 10 times darker than the first book, because mild spoilers, I guess, is that Adeline has been kidnapped and is now essentially being forced to be a part of the sex trafficking world. Obviously she doesn't want that, and Zayd is doing everything in his power to get her free, but it is really fucking dark. It is way darker than, because it's different when it's like, oh yeah, the love interest is the one, like, doing the wrong things, because I'm like, I'm not justifying Zayd's actions in the first book, but it's like, oh yeah, he's the love interest, I know that it ends up being fine, so I can kind of brush some of that stuff under the rug a little bit and just be like, yeah, that's a fucked up thing to do, but it ends up being fine. Versus now it's like, oh, that's fucked up shit, and it's not ending up fine what the other people are doing to Addie. So it's like, fuck. But I won't say too much more because of spoilers, but I'm gonna end this vlog here because it's Sunday and I need to start my other vlog. But I did really hope you enjoyed this vlog. It definitely was not what I expected when I started this vlog. Like, when I started this vlog, I did expect to have started work, but I did not expect to work 3 shifts in a row when I started this vlog. So that does show how much your life can change in literally 1 week of going from waiting to hear back from a job about when I start to having started and working 3 shifts by the end of the week. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did. It really helps my channel grow, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye!